discomfort really is growth in disguise, as much as sometimes we don't want to see it that way. Starting your very own YouTube channel is just a long game journey of personal growth and development. I know for me, the very first few times that I tried to talk in front of the camera were just terrible. I still get nervous. You can look at my videos and see that. But the very first time, I remember being so excited, getting a nice office space done up and a nice background, and just, you start out of the gate, excitement, you're going to do this, no problem. You've done it 100 times when you haven't done it for 5 minutes. That's kind of how I like to roll. And, I reached in and pushed that red record button on my phone, and my whole nervous system was just flooded with anxiety. And my heart started to pound so fast. I thought for sure it was going to pop right out of my chest. And if that wasn't bad enough, then I started sweating like crazy. And it was just like a hot flash. Like there's no turning that off. And then when I went to speak, I felt like I was trying to speak and project my voice through the inside of a plastic straw. It was just crazy, right? And I did manage to get through one video. And when I watched it back, it was like, I was just stiff. I looked like the Tin Man off The Wizard of Oz, right? It is so unnatural. And so I really saw the camera as my enemy at first, which I know is crazy, right? And I'd ask someone, close to me for, can you watch my first video or whatever? And they had a huge smirk on their face and they're like, oh my God, it looks like you're reading your own eulogy at your own funeral. And I was like, well, good, because that's exactly how it felt. It's so, I don't know, it's weird, right? It's just like looking into this big black hole. I don't know how else to explain it. But I was way too fixated on myself. Like that camera would come on and I'd be like, oh my God, look at the big bags I have. And they're like, you could drive your car through there. And like all these, the things that we don't like about ourselves, because women, you turn on the TV and it's like, look like this and sound like that and use this Chanel bag. You look like a movie star, like all the pressure that we're under all the time, right? And so what was funny is, because I work 12-hour nights, and if you don't sleep, you can use eye cream, you can use concealer, you still have the roadmap of Alberta. That's just the way it's going to be, right? But my point is, I was too fixed on myself, which made me even more nervous, right? I'm a Virgo, so we're just, wrapped up in perfection. We think everything has to be perfect. We have to look perfect and sound perfect and all this stuff that is just, it's so insane because life is not perfect, right? So when I really started to focus on, okay, you started this channel to reach people, this camera really is your friend. And it's going to, with the power of the internet, it's going to take your message like globally around the world. And sometimes I think, we forget the power of our words. Like our words are so powerful that, you truly can inspire someone to start believing in themselves. And maybe they've never believed in themselves for 1 minute. Or you could empower them to, maybe they're going to start their own YouTube channel. AI is getting to be a big, big thing. And I mean, a personal brand is something that can carry you anywhere, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. But being uncomfortable, that's the biggest part of being on YouTube because you're challenged. There's so much personal growth. Like basically another thing too was I didn't do any public speaking. So I was petrified, right? In high school, I took the zero 3-4 times if I could, because the thought of getting up in front of everyone, just like, nope, not doing that, right? So then talking to the camera is so unnatural. I have started Toastmasters. I really, really like it. I did like a 6-minute speech last night. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I'm sure I looked petrified, but I think it was a small win because I did it. And I'm just trying to get more and more used to stepping out of your comfort zone. And that's the thing with YouTube. I mean, yeah, getting used to the camera. I still am struggling to be around people outside. That's another thing that a personal goal that I want to get over, as well as I've never gone live. It scares the shit out of me. But I think like, how do we grow if we don't face these things? I mean, if you like your life just the way it is right now and you just want to do the same thing, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over, trying to get a different result, and it is. Because all it is rinse, wash, and repeat. I want something more, and so I have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And a lot of the technology was a huge challenge for me. I didn't realize that, you have a good thumbnail and a good title, and if they both invoke curiosity, people will click on your video. I just thought, oh, whatever comes to your mind, like all these things you have to learn, right? And then also, I love Canva. I had already had Canva because I'm kind of really creative. I was making like some flyers for people and for different businesses, stuff like that. Now Canva has a little bit of AI and stuff too. So if you're writing, you know, whatever your video is going to be about, you're making your notes and stuff like that, it can help you through some of that if you get stuck. So that's awesome. And I just think being your true self. So this is something I've really struggled with. Another thing too, I have a lung condition where I have kind of that raspy, sometimes phlegmy sounding voice, which is lovely, right? But you know what? I can't do anything about it. So it's just me, right? And I think I started out like putting so much pressure on myself to be perfect and almost like, you know, I didn't want to sound like a teacher, but that's kind of how I was coming across. And that's not who I am. I'm actually, as much as I might look stoic and all that, I actually have a really funny sense of humor. It's dry. But, you know, all these things make us who we are. And if eventually we want to build community, we have to be okay showing the things that maybe we're self-conscious about, but maybe nobody else even cares. I don't know. Like, it's very weird, right? So being true to yourself, and you kind of build trust with people. And that's what I'm trying to do, because I really do want to build a community of people that support each other and keep each other up. You know, times are good and bad, and just a community where we can eventually do lives and meet together, and I can answer questions and you can ask me things, or I could ask you questions, whatever, right? And another thing is just like staying and being consistent. Like, my view is, you know, you show up for your job, your regular job, every day, and we go there at times when we're tired and we don't feel like it, but we know we have to pay the mortgage, all those things, right? And we go there sometimes maybe when our day has been really crap and we're sad, or we have something going on. It's just the way it is. And I think the hardest thing with YouTube is to show up. Show up for yourself. Like, maybe, you know, we can't get too hung up in the subscriber numbers and the views, because you have to realize you're actually building a library that if you're doing a personal brand, it's going to all be there one day for people to see, right? And you have to love the process of creation, because we're such an instant gratification society. If you make something and you're really proud of it and it doesn't take off, you just don't want to get so down that you're going to quit. It doesn't mean that it was bad. It just means that, you know, the algorithm's trying to figure you out and you're trying to get better at what you're doing. But your message is still there. And if I could tell you anything, it's like, just keep going. Don't give up on yourself. And also, celebrate all the small wins. It doesn't matter. Maybe you hit 100 subscribers. Yay, I just hit 100. I had this little channel going for a while, and then I let it go for a while, and I just recently kind of picked it back up. And every little win, like, celebrate it. You got some really nice comments. That's awesome, right? And like I said, just keep yourself up, because if you're looking like to always be externally validated, this is a long game. YouTube isn't a short game. You'll see a couple people that'll come on, maybe they'll go viral right away, but very, very few, right? So you have to just be consistent and show up for yourself and for your community, your viewers, right? And you can build a supportive community and encourage positive interactions. Like I said, schedule some lives, make a commitment to, maybe you're making 2 videos a week, and stay committed. And if time is, you know, something that you don't have a lot of, you can batch content. Like every Sunday, maybe you make 4 videos, and don't post them public right away. Post them to private or unlisted. I always do private, and even for 24 hours, because once the algorithm starts to push you out, it'll give a longer time to build before it releases that video. And also embrace the personal growth. Like, I just think of the things that I've never done in my life. And of course, you know, it is scary putting it out there, because sometimes we think, oh, we're putting it all out there for maybe someone will criticize them. Maybe you will get a negative comment, but you have to realize that negative comment is actually a reflection of how that person feels on the inside. And that's okay. Like, I just find if someone has something negative, whatever, I don't comment back. I don't like to fight with people. And I'm not doing this for anyone but myself. I want to build a community, but I think, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say, remember what Mother used to say? Anyways, that's my opinion. And just don't let that stop you. Like, I met a really beautiful lady, subscribed to my channel, and I subscribed to hers, and she had just recently gotten a negative comment. And literally, she had a very big following, but she was ready to just about throw in the towel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't let someone, you know, like, because we're already a little bit insecure, right? I am too. You know, you just, like, I think, oh, you know, when you first start, you're like, oh, what are people going to think? They're going to be talking about me. Who cares? They're not ringing your doorbell tomorrow going, oh, here's $6,000 for your mortgage. Like, who cares what anyone thinks? You're doing this for you. And also, never stop learning. Like, we don't grow at all if we cannot continue to learn, right? And like I said, if you're happy with things the way they are, that's great. But myself, I know I want more things. So being out of your comfort zone is the only way to get there, right? And like I said, you're really creating your own personal brand, and that can go to so many different areas of your life. And also remember, I just read this post yesterday. When I think of Mr. Beast, I've spoken about him so many times. I really like him. But he posted a little thing the other day, and I don't have it right in front of me, so I'll try to recall, which, you know, I'm working on night brain, so bear with me. He was actually on YouTube for 7 years before his channel took off. So that's the thing when I say it's not a short game, it's a long game, YouTube, right? And he had people, he said in his post, he had people call him a freak. He had people say he would amount to nothing. He was a dreamer. Well, last year he made 53 million. So, and he showed up for himself every day, no matter what anyone thought. And that's the biggest thing, if I could tell you, is that, like, just be okay with being uncomfortable, because in the end, you're developing your skills, which can take you anywhere you want it to go. Have a wonderful day.